What's up, y'all? It has been a great week beyond the gates. We got some questions answered. My girl Chelsea is back home. There's been some clarifications on some other questions that we've been asking. A lot has been happening. So let's get right into it. If Leslie calls Anita auntie one more time, I'm going to pop off. I'm going to pop off for real. You can see the steam coming out of Anita's ears every time Leslie tries to hit her with that. Because, girl, I'm not your family. I am not your family. And I don't want to be. Right? You know how with a lot of people, it's like, oh, they treat their family the best. So, yeah, I would rather be your family than your enemy. No. Based off of the way you treat your daughter, mm-mm. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your family. I don't want to talk to you, kick it with you, skate with you, nothing. I'm for real, man. There is no drop of sympathy that I have for Leslie. And even in those last few scenes where she goes up to Anita in the club and she's like, can you please just tell me anything that you know about my mother? Girl, first of all, First of all, you don't care about your mama's legacy. You don't care about who she was growing up. Like any other person in this situation, yes, I do believe that they would be curious about their mother's life, about their birth mother and why they made the decisions they made or how they got to where they did before they had you. But Leslie, no. No. And I was with Anita when she was like, "Girl, I'm not going to tell you anything so that you could emotionally manipulate me. You can blackmail me into something." Every piece of information that Leslie gets is ammo for her to use against people. So, shout out to Anita for giving her the bits of information that she did. I definitely think that it was strategic. She didn't tell her anything different that she said about Barbara from the very beginning of when she started talking about her and the articulates. So, shout out to her. She kept it cute and classy. But at the end of the day, Leslie, don't get it twisted. We'll never be family. We'll never be family. And I'm waiting for the rest of the articulates to find out because Anita didn't tell them. Remember, she didn't tell them that Leslie is Barbara's daughter because of the whole fiasco with Chelsea still being kidnapped. But now that Chelsea is back home, this conversation is going to come up with the rest of the articulates. And ooh, I can't wait because I do feel like, not even feel like, when Anita went solo, we don't know what happened between the other articulates and Barbara. Like, did they reconnect? Did they know that Barbara had a daughter? Like, there's a lot of questions in there that I'm excited for them to bring back. So, this storyline is definitely about to flourish in a way that I'm ready for. But Leslie, no, Anita will never be your TT. Eva definitely plays tennis with her mother, right? There's moments when she's like, "Oh, girl, I'm on your side. I agree with you. I think that what you're dealing with is real and you deserve blah, 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 blah." And then there's the other side when she's like, "Mom, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're pushing the loony bin a little too hard." And honestly, I get it. I get it, right? This is your mother. This is the only parent that you've ever known. It's always been you two against the world. So you would think that even in this moment that you two would still be allies. And who else can Eva really turn to? She really doesn't have any friends still, right? I mean, we don't really see her interacting with anyone else outside of the Dupri family. At one point, I thought that her and Martin might start to create a bond, but obviously Martin is distracted with what's going on with the kids in June and all of that. So I doubt he's had any big family dinners and with his own marriage, right? So he's probably not bringing Eva around to see the craziness of that. She still doesn't have any friends. So her still trying to be around Leslie, I get. But she's going to have to understand that Leslie is never going to put her first. We've seen this, right? Even in the way that Leslie is approaching Ted's relationship now. You guys have already had the blow up. The truth is already out about the history of your relationship. At this point, if it was really about Eva, Leslie's goal would be peace. It would be to co parent with Ted. It would be to create a peaceful and safe space for Eva to create healthy relationships with that side of her family. But that's not the case. Leslie is there for the drama. Okay. Leslie is there to make sure that everything's coming up Leslie, right? That's why she doesn't care about Eva's rejection of her moving in across the street from the Duprees, because Eva knows that's going to bring nothing but chaos and trouble. But Leslie welcomes that. That's what Leslie wants ultimately. So even with this relationship, part of me still hopes that that Leslie is not Eva's real mother. Like, can we figure out how she stole Eva from the hospital from her real mother, and the fact that Ted is not her father? I'm so glad that my girl Chelsea is home, still exhaling with her. I know that she's still healing, and it's very prevalent with the way that she's acted this week. The PTSD is real. She still has a lot of anxiety on what happened, which is completely understandable. I mean, she went through complete craziness. Like, I would understand if she wanted to be under a rock for at least a year, but that's not how the Duprees operate. And I love the scene with Chelsea, Kat, and their grandmother, Anita, to where she pours into them and she reminds them that they have to get back to work. It's not about even letting other people win. Like, oh, I have to jump back into work so that people don't win. It's really finding you again. Because in that process of being kidnapped and beaten down and told, what they think the reality is, it's easy to lose yourself and to come out of that and say, well, oh, I need to change myself completely so that never happens again. That seems to be where Chelsea was retreating. But Anita came up with a great idea saying that they should relaunch the Chelsea Cat brand, because remember, they didn't have the party. The launch party was canceled because Chelsea was kidnapped that night. So they're going to do another launch, but this time it's going to be just family, no press, no anything, and they're going to live stream it. And I think that is great, right? We also got to see the girlies in real life on social media during New York Fashion Week, where they did a private walkthrough with the bags. But I just love that Chelsea Cat is a real brand. Yes, welcome back, Chelsea girl. Welcome back. I don't know. It's not looking too good for these two. It's really not looking good. This last scene that they had this past week, to where Tomas tried to create this romantic dinner for them in a hotel room, it definitely went left. Okay. We all saw the moment that Kat noticed we're in a hotel room and there's a bed. Oh my God. The immediate terror that came on her face. Like, I really want to know what the trauma is with Kat and sex. I mean, really. She doesn't give any signs of, being assaulted in any way or having any trauma in that area. So I'm just confused. I'm confused as to what the holdup is and what the pause is for her, the disconnect between her and Tomas. Is it really that she just doesn't like him? And of course, you never know that until you get intimate with another person. But I feel sad about that because I do like them together. Like, I do think that they genuinely like each other, but this could definitely be the nail in the coffin of their relationship, especially how she reacted once they slept together again and it was still not good for her. The way that she expressed herself to Tomas was definitely unacceptable. I get that she was, scared and embarrassed and confused in that moment. But for her to go straight to, like, well, there's nothing wrong with me. What's wrong with you? He never said anything was wrong with you, girl. It's giving insecure. It's giving, I'm not mature enough to have this conversation with you. And that's fine, but go have the conversation with somebody. Her feelings are valid, but I need for her to figure out a way to express them a lot better. Like, you just apologized to him for talking out the side of your neck the last time, for always being this mean girl against Eva. And I feel some type of way about that too, because every time they talk about Eva, Tomas acts like she can do no wrong in a lot of ways, and it's very annoying. But Kat, you got to watch your words, girl, and we got to figure out what this is, because if not, you might need to cut him loose for real. Now, Everybody be truthful in this moment. Raise your hand if you thought that Danny and Bill were going to get back together after this whole Chelsea mess. Exactly, not me. Not me. And for y'all that got hope that quick, I'm sorry that your bubble got burst, but reality still is reality, boo boo. Okay. Bill has gotten his cake and eaten it too. He's not going to go back to Danny. I don't understand. Like, at least not now. At least not now. Like there has to be something real to happen between Haley and Bill for Bill to leave Haley. In this case, it very much could be the fact that she lied about that pregnancy. But I'm trying to be patient with them about that part. But yeah, once he has that conversation with Haley about that pregnancy, things will definitely be different. But I gotta give it to Bill. I gotta give it to Bill. They were all kikiing and oh, thank you, Bay, and hands on thighs and hands on shoulders when they were consoling each other for Chelsea. But the moment Danny decided to get chummy with old boy, and Haley said, sir, no, we're married. You need to go draw that line. He did. He did. He went straight to Danny's and said, hey, girl, I know we've been cool and I hope we can stay cool, but I got to be truthful. Wifey ain't going nowhere. Wifey still ain't going nowhere. And part of me was like, dang, Bill, I guess you really do love her. I guess you really do love this little youngin'. Like, ugh. But I didn't want Danny and Bill back anyways. She needs to go find her another man and not Andre. Not Andre. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I'm glad that Bill drew the line again. And I'm glad that Haley had that moment to really be like, that's really the only way that this is going to work. And she was right. You can't give subliminals to somebody like Danny. You can't let her mind wander or even start to walk. Okay. Like you need to tell her exactly what it is from the jump. And that's what Bill did. I can't be mad at him. I can't be mad at him. Now, Danny girl, now she about to go do some crazy mess in retaliation. And I just want so much better for her. Vegas? For real, y'all? Vegas? That's where y'all decided to go? First of all, Andre, I'm actually glad that he wasn't cheesy enough to say Paris, right? Was anyone else waiting for him to say, oh, let's go to Paris? Because he's been pitching Paris to Ashley from the very beginning. Now, granted, I think that it was Ashley that said that Paris was her dream place to go. And Andre has been there plenty of times for work and things. But it seemed like Paris would be like his go to since he's trying to deal with this heartbreak with Ashley and everything. But Vegas is definitely not the place to go when you're drunken and heartbroken, especially not with the person that you're sleeping with. Like this is going to turn out bad for sure. They've already mentioned eloping, at least Andre has. He brought it up and of course Danny was like, that sounds like a great idea, let's stir it up. But every 2 seconds she's asking if Bill and Haley have gotten a divorce yet, announced their divorce. So it's like, girl, you are obviously still deeply wounded by this situation, and going to Vegas with your boy toy is not the answer. It's not the answer. Hopefully they only come back with a marriage license. But who knows what else? Who knows what else they're going to do out there? I think that Andre's reaction to Ashley getting engaged to Derek is dramatic. Fully. Like, bro, she has been fighting you to stay with this man from the very beginning. So I don't see any shock of her saying, you know what, fine, I'm going to go marry him. They have their own problems. But Andre, it was never yours, bro. It was never yours. You should have been mourning this situation a long time ago. The fact that he even let it go as long as he did is comical. But yeah, I'm excited to see how they cut up in Vegas. I'm excited to see some playfulness with them. It's definitely been heavy between them for a little minute. So I'm excited to see what happens with this. It's going to be interesting. Now that Derek and Ashley are engaged, ugh, I think it's really interesting to see the reactions of the people that they tell once they tell the news. And I loved Shanice's reaction, right? Because she's not going to sugarcoat anything. She's always like, I'm going to tell you the real. And the fact that she has confronted Derek about having feeling in his leg is like, oh, finally, right? I know we were playing around with him having sensations in the leg last week, but now that he's fully feeling it, I agree with her that it's very important for him to tell Ashley that he's feeling it because, yeah, I do think that she has this superhero dynamic just like he does. And him being paralyzed for life does kind of tickle her nurse fancy a little bit, which is a bit sick, just a little bit. Just a little bit. But I do believe that him having a limited life, right, with his circumstances is a bit appealing to Ashley. And her decision to marry him may very much change if she finds out that he can fully walk again at some point. But still, at the end of the day, Shanice don't want you, sir. That whole, oh, I thought you were over us and I thought you'd be happy for Ashley and I. Bro, that's done. Okay. Shanice don't want you no more. We want a man for Shanice. A real man. Bring him out. Teddy, Teddy, Teddy. Oh, will you never learn? Will you never learn? I am disappointed. Okay. I'm completely disappointed. I thought that they had turned over a new leaf. I see that Nicole, she was just open again. She was just about to be cool with getting back with old boy, and he had to mess up and sleep with Leslie. Now, I do give him a drop of credit, just a drop for being honest with Nicole when she confronted him with the tie, because he could have lied again. He could have lied and tried to deny it, but he was honest, and therefore Nicole was able to make the decision that she did, which is I'm still divorcing you, but and I'm using that in court. I don't know though. I'm still not fully convinced. I do think that she does still love him. And although this hurts, she still has to understand that this is after she served divorce papers. He was definitely drunk. And we know how manipulative Leslie is. She's found her way in your house through security every time. Like the lady is Houdini, okay? She could have just appeared in Ted's bed. So you gotta give him some leeway, girl. And this is the first time that you've even expressed to Ted that you want to save the marriage or you even thought about still being with him. So once again, it's still a bit unfair for you to come at him now and be like, I was thinking about getting back together, but there you go again. You messed up again. Like, yeah, I don't know if Ted ever had a chance of getting back with Nicole. Hopefully he still does though. I know he messed up. I know he messed up. But we all know how horrible Leslie is, how manipulative she is, how tactful she is, right? Like she knew. Eva went to Leslie's place to ask her how to help Ted. And in return, she goes and sleeps with Ted, knowing that he was in a bad state. And I'm glad that Eva holds that over her head every chance that she gets because I'm not going to let you fantasize about it. I'm not going to let you create a narrative in your brain that, oh, this is what he wanted and he wants me and not Nicole. No, girl, that's not what happened. And I'm just hoping that, Ted can keep it in his pants moving forward and do something to have a real conversation with Nicole because that's what's needed. It's a bunch of hearsay and miscommunication between them. But I don't know, Ted, you doubling back to Leslie, it might be the end of you and Nicole. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Now, I had to talk about these three because they're still in the midst of some craziness. Vanessa has really lost her mind. Okay. Her walking around acting like Joey's queen pin is insane. Okay. The PDA, the constant pop ups, the weird public conversations. Like, she's really not caring how she looks to the public anymore. And that's reckless. That's reckless. Okay. Because, yeah, Yeah, it's reckless. And now that Doug is really trying to come after Joey, this is going to be bad. Okay. First of all, Doug, you're dumb. You really are. He is so oblivious and just ignorant in a lot of ways. He got a lot of book smarts, obviously, because he's a surgeon, but his people smarts it is at a negative, whatever. Because for him to go to Bill and tell Bill that he wants to get Joey put away, told him that Joey was having an affair with Vanessa, told him that Joey was cleaning money through Vanessa's uh, business, and still wanted him to be on his side. When were y'all real friends, Doug? When were you and Bill ever real friends, right? Y'all might be colleagues, yes. Your wives or ex-wives may be besties, yes. You may be the only two black men in the room sometimes, yes. Does that mean he has any loyalty to you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And when you told your what happened to Randy, Randy's reaction was all of our reactions. Sir, this is going to blow back. This is going to blow back. And what did Bill do? Bill went to Joe immediately. He went to Joey immediately and was like, yo, let me tell you what Doug came and told me. Okay. You're the bigger fish in this situation. So I'm letting you know that my allegiance stands with you, but I'm just letting you know that this is what's going on. And you let me know how you want me to proceed. Doug, this is going to end really badly for you. Really badly for you. And once Vanessa finds out that you're even in this place of like, oh, well, if she gets locked up with him, oh, well, she's really going to turn against you. She's really going to turn against you and it's going to get nasty. Okay. So watch your back, Doug. You're really the only one in danger from this photo until they bust Vanessa because she's gonna get sloppy and somebody's gonna bust her and it's gonna come back to Joey. So we'll see. Now, we already talked last week about how June was going to make her way back into the kids' lives, right? And now we see how. Samantha has had her situation with this boy, and the realization has come that she doesn't have any women in her family that she has direct access to. Yes, she has her cousins, her aunt, her grandmother, her great grandmother, but of course, everyone's got their own things going on, and she doesn't feel like she has access to them in the ways that she needs. And also, she's having questions about herself that she needs answers from her mother because this is her birth mother, right? So for when now that she's learning about boys, learning about herself, when did her mother first have sex? When did she have her first crush? Who could possibly be her father? All of these questions are brewing inside of her. And I'm so glad that she's one of the bold ones that can articulate that to her family and they actually listen, right? Of course, Tyrell was objecting immediately because he wants to keep Samantha safe. And he remembers how June was when she was strung out and leaving them alone for days at a time. They were hungry and cold and afraid. So Tyrell always goes back to that when he thinks about reconnecting with June. But Samantha is a lot more forthcoming because she was younger during that time and she doesn't really remember June in that way, right? So it's a lot easier for her to accept who June is now. I am glad that June is trying to get herself together. She definitely cleaned up a bit. She's starting to work at Orphe Jeans, although I don't know how long that job will last because she was rough at it. But it was her first day. Everybody's rough on their first day, right? So hopefully they give her grace and she keeps working there. But I do love that Samantha approached her and was saying like, "Hey, can we talk?" I think that's good. As long as June understands her place and the fact that Martin and Smitty are still their parents and she is there to help and uplift and be a liaison or a buffer, but not to be a deciding factor in the kid's life. Once she can grasp onto that, I think they can create a good relationship amongst themselves. And I hope so, because I think that it would be healing for all three of them. to get to know each other and create a relationship from now moving forward and not just live in the past. So we'll definitely see what happens there, but I think that it's going to be good, hopefully. Now, once her sister comes into play, their aunt, we'll see what happens. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know how you feel about where all the characters are right now. Let me know what questions you still have that are lingering and are still open ended so that we can kiki about it in the comments. And I'll see you next week. Beyond the Gate.